Greetings, fellow anime watchers, and I welcome you again to another video on my channel. And today I want to talk about a special topic, which isn't very special, but it kind of annoys me from time to time. And since I have watched Spy Family the last few weeks and finished it today, I noticed a few things about the show, which certainly appear in many other shows, especially these days. Not particularly in anime, but just in overall in general, being movies, shows, games, doesn't matter which. But let's say it this way: I am someone who really enjoys when a show doesn't take my hand to lead me through its story. So to state it bluntly, I don't like it when shows treat me like I'm a fucking dumb idiot. I get the notion behind it that you want to guide your audience a little bit, taking their hands and show them around the area so they don't fall out of line and some complicated things need to be explained. But when it comes to the smaller things like a character doing an action or something, or even worse, when something was already explained through showing what needed to be explained and then just repeating it in words, I feel like the show just treats me like I'm a fucking idiot. Not getting the simplest stuff they want to tell me. And since I watched Spy Family, there are some certain scenes in episodes sprinkled throughout where a character does a thing and this is unnecessarily explained to me, especially reactions like to the protagonist's Lloyd, I think was his name, secret identity and this family finding out. Then we see him with his body language reacting to it, and then I mean, I don't know if I'm the only one thinking that, but his body language is like very clear on that topic, but then he just thinks it or just straight out says what he thinks, and I think that is a kind of cheap way to trick the audience into believing that it was put some thought into it, because normally you want to guide your audience with subtle and short hints to something the character is trying to explain, that normally takes a longer way. But with the character's body language and the way he treats and acts others around that specific topic is an indication for that. And when you just push in or push in between an explanation through words just to solidify what was already sold to us, then I don't know if you really know what you're doing or not. Because if you take, for example, a show that really doesn't take you take your hand to guide you through the story, like Shutter Island, we are just basically thrown into the story, and with subtle hints and puzzle pieces scattered throughout the entire thing, we puzzle together the entirety of the story, and nearly around the second act, at the end of the second act and the beginning of the third act, we slowly get to the bigger picture. And the show and the movie hadn't had the need to take our hands to guide it us through it. And of course, I understand that Shutter Island is like a completely different story compared to the lives of slice of lives like a Spy Family. Doesn't mean that the slice of life can't be as complex as it. I'm just saying that it just tries to tell that story in different ways. But something like guiding the audience to either the gray area or just the two extremes is something that can definitely be argued and discussed, instead of just saying, yeah, but is this just a style? No, I actually think it can be discussed. And shows like Spy X Family, even though they do analytically many things correct, there are certain things they just overdo it, and this is something that annoys me quite well. Because I also have recently watched the first episode of Demon Slayer, for example, where I took, of course, I have to say I watched the German dub, so it could just be German dub, but that the protagonist that fell down from a small hill onto a snow pile and then just states to me in a 50,000 paged essay that the snow catched his fall so he didn't get hurt or anything, even though I just saw what happened and his body language told me that. So yeah, okay, you just unnecessarily info dump me here and there to gain what exactly. Like, this doesn't lead to anything, it doesn't work throughout for anything, just unnecessary information that we don't need really. And I wish many shows would just drop that, because it not only would heighten the quality of the writing, but also enables you to use that unnecessary few seconds for a bit more information on previous things you got, or just establish new things. So even that, like, if your show is made for the audience of a specific demographic, a specific age or not, those aren't stupid. Like, even kids today in the kid shows, they treat them like stupid idiots, even though kids aren't that stupid. Like, they can take on many information actually. And kid shows back in the days, they had their stupid moments, but even though there were sprinkled a few instances of smart writing, and kids even got that, it was not that very hard. So I don't understand why, especially like a few newer examples of shonen anime do this. It is unnecessary. I mean, by all means, if the author if the author wants to do it, by all means do it, but just don't overdo it and take your audience for stupid or something. I mean, even if it's your style, even if it's a way you want to try out, give us cut us a bit of slack here and trust us a bit to get the message across. Even for the extreme example, like if you think you would fall into the death of the author, and I have seen a stupid argumentation about that on Facebook today. Oh my god! But this is a topic for another day. Your interpretation of what you wanted to show in that scene is not regarded any less than that of the viewer, just because you overdo it. I mean, just of course you can explain complex stuff, like many, for example, JoJo stands can be explained, because through sheer show don't tell, you not often will get it for kids that watch it, or even some adults. Even if you take like shows that are really show don't tell, like without any dialogue, like Tani Tatovsky's Geni Tatovsky's Primal as a recent example. He does a fantastic job on giving us the information we need just by that body language, the context of the scene. And this is something I hope we could get in today's media, like for example the mainstream anime shonens and stuff, so the broader audience can get a little bit closer to it. I don't mean like that's the only thing you have to do, but it would be a cool step to see that, to give us a bit of trust in the understanding of interpretation. Of course, you don't have to overdo it like Scorn did it, for example, that video game recently released. But more than often, I hope to see that, and I like it even because it makes me feel a little bit accomplished to understanding the story behind it, and to get the little niches the story wants to tell us. But this is like all I wanted to say. Like, this is my short opinion on it, and I hope you kind of understand what I'm trying to say here. Other than that, comment what you think about this topic, if you agree with me, if you like it when the story takes your hand, even if it's with the simplest things. And I hope we can see each other on the next topic we discuss, maybe something as short as this, or something that goes way deeper. Nonetheless, be prepared for the Kung Fu Panda review dropping hopefully end of next week, and the Dukeman review that is posted with this short thing here. So I see you next